Good morning, and welcome to episode 235 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. Well, today is Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, decision day. So later today, we'll hear if Chairman Jerome Powell and the team have decided to go ahead and cut interest rates, as everybody is hoping they will, although the inflation data that came out for June suggests that they might hold interest rates where they are just a little while longer. We'll know by the end of the day, and we'll talk more about that next week on Getting Rich. Today, I want to have a little bit of a departure. I'm not going to share prices with you. Instead, I want to talk a little bit about the seasonality of precious metals prices. I don't know if you've heard the phrase sell in May and go away. That is very common in the stock market. I think it has a little bit of truth for precious metals, and it's why for many years you would see during the summer months the doldrums. Basically, people clear out their portfolio, get it in kind of a stable position, selling what they want, and then they just forget about it for the summer, where they go and spend the time with their families, they have vacation time, etc. So that kind of leads to the idea of the summer doldrums, where nothing is happening. It's just kind of a stagnant market in precious metals. Another big seasonality feature for precious metals is when you see around tax time, that leading up to the submission of taxes in April, a lot of people just kind of don't do anything. They want to sit around, wait, and see where their finances are once the accountants come back and do the final tallies. They want to see how much, if anything, they can contribute to IRAs, etc. And then shortly after tax time, you'll see a little bit of a surge in precious metals one way or the other, as taxpayers are starting to take action once they have some clarity on their finances. The big seasonality concern for precious metals is usually in the fall. And it's not surprising that we see typically about 80% of the highs for gold occurring somewhere between September and February. If you think about it, it just makes perfect sense. First off, you have all the jewelers that are looking to prepare any sort of jewelry, whether it's earrings, necklaces, bracelets, etc., for the end of the year and the fall holiday seasons, regardless of what religious conviction you have. There are all sorts of holidays in the fall and into the winter, and they start buying the metal to make all that jewelry around September. They gotta make it ahead of time so it's ready when the consumers are demanding it. So we see a lot of that. We also see everybody coming back from the summer months, coming back from vacation, paying attention to their finances as they get back to work in full gear. So as a result, you tend to see people buying more, or at least more activity in the markets in the fall to winter time frame. In my opinion, over the past few years, we're starting to see less of an effect of seasonality. I mean, this summer's a great example. We continue to see precious metals, after just a little bit dip in gold, hold steady after a little bit of a dip in silver, to start climbing again, where silver's hitting highs it hasn't seen in 12 to 14 years. So it's not always the case that you have the doldrums in the summer and the buying activity in the fall. I think what's much more important is looking at the factors surrounding these markets, looking at the prices for gold and silver, realizing that with no will in Congress to cut spending, we're going to expand the money supply, we're going to see an increase in commodities prices, and as a result, these prices are as cheap as you're going to find for some time. Couple that with the fact that the premiums that we're seeing on minted coins and bars and gold and silver are the very lowest I have seen in 30 years. I just was at a recent conference, and there it was confirmed by all of my colleagues. They're seeing exactly the same thing. I think it's much more important to discard seasonality and look at low prices, incredibly low premiums, and consider now as the time to be adding gold and silver to your portfolio. As always, we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and send us your comments and questions so we can get them on the air. Subscribe to our social media platforms. Take our twice weekly, always something interesting alerts and our once monthly information line newsletter. But in the end, don't ever forget, getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.